Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is very exciting. I'm going to be doing my first ever conspiracy theory video. Yes, conspiracy theory video. I'm so obsessed with conspiracy theories. So for my first ever video on this topic, I decided to do Nickelodeon kids show conspiracy theories because I grew up around Nickelodeon and honestly it was one of my favourite networks. So I thought, why not? So if you're interested in some of these very crazy theories, there are some very crazy theories, just a spoiler alert, then carry on watching. So the first show I'm going to be talking about is iCarly. So there are many conspiracy theories for this show, but I'm going to be talking about the two most crazy ones because I just feel like crazy is my middle name. So the first theory I want to talk about is that Crazy Steve kidnapped Megan from Drake and Josh, moved to Seattle and changed their identities so that no one would be suspicious. They made up this whole background story that their dad was in the United States Navy and their mum was dead so that no one would be suspicious and they would kind of have like a real life story to go by. So Megan became Carly, and to be in control of things she created her own web show with her friend Sam, just so that she could be in control of something, and her web show ended up having many hits and she became a internet celebrity. Also, where this theory gets quite dark is that before the move to Seattle happened, Crazy Steve murdered Megan's family, i.e. Drake and Josh, which is you know, it's pretty crazy. So yes. Okay, so the second theory I'm going to be talking about is quite interesting, but also very crazy. So then the theory is that Freddie's mum is actually the woman from the Bee Movie. I mean, what? Okay, so this theory just basically kind of states why Freddie's mum is so batshit crazy and is very overprotective of him, and that is because she accidentally killed her husband, the bee. So apparently the bee at the end of the movie dies. I don't know, I've never watched the Bee Movie, but yeah, this theory is just totally crazy. So I'm gonna read you this theory because I've got it on my laptop here. Okay. So here we go. Okay, so you guys know how Barry B. Benson was chatting up his honey. I have a theory. Okay, so that woman is actually Miss Benson from iCarly. Ever wondered why we never saw Freddie's dad? And that is why Freddie looks like a bug. He's part B. Does he look like a bug? I mean, I'm not gonna insult Nathan Kress. I just don't think it's a good idea. This is why Miss Benson worries over Freddie so much. She was reckless in the past and accidentally killed her husband. And then there's like posts about how, to be relatable, he took part in a web show so everyone assumes that he's full human, and there was some bee propaganda on iCarly. Yeah, I just find this theory so crazy. I don't know whether I believe it or not. Is it totally crazy to believe this theory? So this next theory is one of the most popular theories on the internet, literally, and that is about the Rugrats. So I'm pretty sure you've all heard this theory before, but I'm including it because it fucking ruined my childhood and I want to ruin everyone else's childhood if they haven't heard it. Okay. So the theory basically states that the babies aren't real and they're just a figment of Angelica's imagination. So let's get into this theory. So as we all know, Angelica's relationship with her parents wasn't a very good one. Her father was quite not there for her and her mum ignored her most of the time. So to deal with her loneliness, Angelica dreamed up this group of babies, and this is why we see her be bossy and stuff, so that she's in control. And to be honest, she's technically in control because these babies are in her head. So Chucky and his mum died in a car accident, and this explains why Chaz is so, you know, messed up from it. So with his grief, he goes on a trip to France where he meets a woman called Kira, who is a Japanese prostitute. Now, Kira and Chaz get married and end up moving back to the US, where Kira has her child Kimmy taken away from her by the state because her job says that she is an unfit mother. Now, this isn't really fair. Kira pines over Kimmy and Chaz pines over Chucky, so these are two grieving parents together. So obviously Angelica is a child that is in their life, and she has taken bits of Kimmy and Chucky from what she's heard and created the Rugrats based on what she's heard from the adult. Tommy was a stillborn, and this is why his father's always up in the basement creating toys for the child that he had never had, the child that was never properly born. Phil and Lil were aborted. Yeah, this is horrible. I don't agree with abortion. So basically, the reason that Angelica created Phil and Lil as identical twins is because the sex was never defined by the parents. They had to have their child aborted due to certain circumstances. So because Angelica never really knew the sex of the child, she created two babies, both twins, one boy and one girl. So Angelica's Cynthia doll is representational of Angelica's real mother who died from a heroin addiction. Charlotte is Angelica's stepmother because after her real mother died, her father married Charlotte. Angelica always looked up to Charlotte, but Charlotte never really cared that much for Angelica because she was more of a success-driven woman who just wanted to be successful, I suppose. Okay, so the only real baby in the Rugrats world was Dill. Now, because Dill was a real child and not a figment of Angelica's imagination where she could control everything, Dill didn't listen to her, and she ended up striking him again and again and again, and this gave Dill emotional and mental and physical kind of disabilities, I suppose. But the two of them grew up and they were deeply damaged. So that's all I'm gonna say about this theory. It is quite long, it is quite fucked up, but yeah, that's all I can take. My childhood's ruined. My childhood is ruined.